Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. I have just started my mandatory lunch. I actually started it 2 minutes late. I started it at 12:02, so I'm going to be done at 12:32, and hopefully, this won't cause any drama. I really shouldn't have to think about causing drama when it comes to taking my lunch. I think the drama should start like if I don't come back after lunch. I think that's where the drama should start. It should be did Miss M really go out to go get a drink? That's actually what I was contemplating. That's what I was contemplating doing last night. So I was at Dave and Buster's until from about 7 to a little about 9:30, and I was just kind of messing around at Dave and Buster's after I had to go get my mail. And I had a fun time. Originally I was going to sit down and drink, like get a beer or something. I mean, nothing too crazy, just like a beer or something like that. And I ended up getting addicted on the Star Trek coin pusher machine and winning all these cards. And I'm going, well, I guess I distracted myself from drinking, so I guess I'm going to be fine. But besides the point, as you know from yesterday, as a bit of a recap, there was an issue where I was called up by my operations manager for starting my lunch, my first of two 10-minute, lunch breaks, just 2 10-minute breaks, 8 minutes past the scheduled time. And it was because I was caught up trying to finish a deadline, and I had to get to a place. It's kind of like, when you're playing a video game and you have and you have to get to a part of the level where it's safe to press pause. Like, you don't want to do it when the boss is about to, behead you. Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, anyway, so I had to waste about 25, 30 minutes today writing a letter, in response to this, because honestly, there's just, the kind of things that I'm having to deal with, they just need to be, stopped now. I gotta nip this in the bud. This just has to not happen, at all. You know what, you're gonna try to pull that junk. Either you do it to everyone, or you don't do it at all. You just make a choice. So I spent like 20 to 30 minutes-ish, writing this email. And I'm hoping that someone's going to listen to that, look at it, and go, why was this even an issue in the first place? Because I did take it at 10 minutes. I just didn't take it exactly at 9:30. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that was the first part of what was going on today. Second part was I received an email probably closer to around 4 p.m. or something like that. I'm actually, just for fun, I want to see what the timestamp was on it. But let me see, because it's actually kind of funny. I was asked to do some setup for today, and I mean, that's okay and stuff, but let's see if I can find it. Here we go. This was sent to me in terms of setting up the screen and projector at 4:32 p.m. on Thursday. I left campus at 4 p.m. This technically means that this email was sent after hours, but yeah, I do. Out of some paranoia, I do look at it every now and then. So it was a request to set up the screen for a presentation that was going to be done during 8th grade advisory, which on Thursdays lands between 10:12 and 10:43. So well after my 10-minute break. Not a big deal, so I set this thing up, and, they requested, oh, please set up the screen. Like, they're going to be shoving all of the 8th graders in a single room, and they're going to be showing a presentation. I'm like, okay. Well, I get in there, I turn on the projector, and I find that I don't need to set up the screen. It's going to be better off, projected on the wall. So we kind of leave it as is. And then, so all the students file in, and I'm thinking, okay, all the students are filing in, and, getting ready to watch this presentation. And I'm sitting there going, okay, whose laptop am I using to present this thing? And I find out that no one actually knew who was going to give the presentation. It turns out that it was supposed to be an administrator. All the administrators are either in a meeting or off campus. And then the other teacher who could have presented it was out sick for the day. So there was really no one to present this thing. And, it's not like this was an important presentation for the 8th grade. No, it really wasn't at all. It was actually the presentation that was giving them all the guidelines and the requirements needed to culminate from 8th grade. Nothing too crazy, right? No, it's just culmination requirements, so that you can go walk the stage in June. Yeah. So fortunately, one of our senior eighth grade teachers stepped up, gave me his laptop, and then just ran the presentation. And because he was running the presentation, I was next to the laptop, I inadvertently ended up sitting through the entire presentation and helping him run the PowerPoint. So I ended up just doing some extra work and ending up in that classroom regardless. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know what, I'll do you a solid. We'll make this work because this is not where I'm going to complain. So yeah, that was disorganized AF. And I mean, we got the information across, but it was just one of those things where it's like, you know, we're compensated for mistakes here, and it's kind of annoying. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on so far. On other small projects, I'm currently I was currently charged with setting up Rosetta Stone. So my school, of course, without telling me, as usual, purchased a 5-user license for Rosetta Stone in the classroom, which is a version of Rosetta Stone that is used for students who are trying to, learn languages. And so as soon as that was purchased, I was told, okay, please set this up. We don't know how. Right. Well, the good news is that, it's a very easy to use user management system. And so I set up my accounts, and I also made sure that students were set up. And then as an Easter egg, because it was originally only designed for one student who is very new to the country and doesn't speak a lick of English, but I set it up for another student just in case, because one of the other teachers asked, hey, why not? And I'm thinking, we have a 5-user license and we only have one kid that's going to be using it. No, I'm going to put the second person in. And if you really don't want him to, then I'll delete him. But I'd rather be proactive about it, because apparently I'm not proactive enough. So so that's been set up, and there's no plan to use it this week. I think it's probably going to be used when we come back from from Labor Day weekend. But whatever, I did my job. They've been informed. We're done. Whatever. So there's that. Now, my pet project, and this is the one I'm actually proud of right now, because the student that I'm thinking about is currently testing that program right now. We're going to go back to Kurzweil 3000. That is the reading software that I have been trying to pitch for the last semester and a half. So right before, and I was looking at the schedule where the student is located in the 6th grade English classroom. And so talking to the teacher real quick, I was like, hey, what is this student's plan when, he returns to your classroom? And she's like, he's going to be reading, the chapter along with the other students. But so this was my opportunity finally to go, okay, I'm going to go quickly. This will be 25 minutes, and I'm going to thank my IT liaison for this, but he totally fixed the issue that we were having with the standalone version of it that goes on the Macintosh. So on the MacBook Pro, and so he just fixed it in time. So long story short, I quickly take a student, a spare MacBook, set it up with Kurzweil, and now that student's in the classroom right now with his headphones on, reading chapter 5 in Spanish and listening to it at the same time. And I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. It works. And I will say this, I previewed it because I met him up while he was with his reading specialist in the other office. And I said, hey, and of course, in whatever Spanish I have left in my system, I said, hey, tengo una versión del libro. And he goes, really? And, he's looking at me like really interested. I lay the computer in front of him and I play it. And, I'm watching him watch the words as it's reading to him. And I could just see this smile on his face. Like, I actually understand this. Wait a minute, this is the book in Spanish. Wow, and he was really happy about that. So when he moved back to the classroom, I laid the computer back in front of him. He pulled out his headphones, plugged them in, and did his thing. So I'm really happy that I'm going to see what the feedback is on Kurzweil and see how he does. But if this isn't a push to purchase this program, I don't know what is. But I'm just really glad that finally, with the help of my liaison at the central office, getting this to finally function, and I'm just like stoked. So we'll see what happens there. That is probably the highlight of the day so far. I mean, aside from that, it's just the same old, and I'm trying not to, stomp out of here in frustration. But there's just a lot of things going on here. A lot of things that are just very confusing. There's a lot of lack of clarity. If I had to add to it, in terms of that 8th grade culmination meeting thing to be announced, it was the email was only sent to the 8th grade teachers, and somehow the counselors were forgotten about, and they were supposed to help out with it as well. So I was kind of finding that amusing. Yeah, there's just a lot of selective hearing. I don't understand it. I would rather receive more emails about things that I kind of don't care about rather than go, that was never mentioned to me. I'm really, because here's the thing. I'm IT. As an IT person, there's probably a high chance that I may have my hands on something, especially if it involves a laptop or something like that. So, or a projector or something like audio, whatever. I might have my paws on it. It might happen. Right. So, yeah. And if I go back to the whole thing about how that email was sent after hours, like I said, even though I don't personally answer emails after hours, sometimes I'll glance at them. And so what happened was at 9:30 last night, one of my 8th grade science teachers sends out an email requesting, it was a very funny request. She was requesting if anyone had extra bouncy balls to walk around to use for an assignment that she was going to give the students during class. It was like a miniature lab. Now, I know what you're thinking. Very weird thing is like bouncy balls, like the ones that you get in the little quarter vending machine and, the high bounce balls. Well, if I have to admit, one of the weirdest things that I have in storage is I have a bin full of bouncy balls. I just have a bin of bouncy balls. I've had since high school. I've used them in my room when the ceiling fan was on. I used to throw them at the ceiling fan. Anyway, so I have this giant, like at least a couple hundred bouncy balls. And so I put a few of them in a bag, and she's borrowing them for the next couple days. It was totally worth it because I got home from Dave & Buster's. I was kind of tired, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fulfill this request because I have to be like the only person who has this many bouncy balls to be able to help with the science assignment. So I had to dig around. I was on the phone with Evan for a little bit while I was doing this. And lo and behold, I kind of remembered I had to kind of like open a few bins, but I found my bouncy balls in a storage bin, and we're good. So yes, in my own crazy way, I took care of the English class. I took care of 8th grade advisory with the culmination presentation, and I took care of 8th grade science. I did all this, and I'm probably going to get yelled at for taking my lunch at 12:02. But you know what, though? I will say this. If there's an issue about me taking my lunch at 12:02, what matters to me right now is that 6th grader who can't speak English yet can read the same book as his peers. That's what matters to me in the end. And you know what? Bleep all the rest. That's all I'm going to say. But those are the big things that are happening today. Really not too much to complain about because this stuff makes itself up. Like I don't even make up the material that I do when I talk about these confessionals. And really what I do is like, a minute before I put myself on here, live, I just take a little Post-it note and I write the little things that I'm going to talk about today. And then I just kind of have it sitting here next to my laptop and I just can glance at it and go, okay, that's the note that I want to make. So, that is where I am at the moment. Tonight I'm probably going to be cleaning my fish tank, which I'm still having issues with the brown algae, and I really could use some feedback on that because, working with aquariums isn't my cup of tea, and it's not my, I don't have a talent in it. I need some help. So if anyone has any tips and tricks on how to deal with brown algae in your fish tank, please let me know. Other than that, it's just a lot of cleanup and tossing of papers and filing of papers, and medicating my rats and, the usual, just life in general. And also, always open to guests if anyone's interested in just kind of hanging out for a little bit and, getting some more insight about what goes on past the desktop confessional. You can always hit me up. I'm in the South Bay, Lawndale to be exact. And, it's always amusing. Hey Dee, nice to hear from you. I'm watching the comments as they're floating by, and yeah, it is fun to share these things, and it's much faster than blogging. So thank you for watching, and I'm glad that I have a few, And Jolene, nice to hear from you too. Is there a thing called the IT support? There has to be. I'm pretty sure that what I discuss in these desktop confessionals is nowhere near. I mean, this is not unique. This has to be there has to be frustrations up the yin yang right now, especially with just the way that things are organized here at my work, and just the way that things are organized in the charter school organization that I'm in. I seriously cannot be. I can't be alone in this. There's no freaking way. There has to be something to help us out here, because, when I started, doing more Instagram, more making commentary on what I do as an IT person in a school, I started hashtags like, school IT probs. That's been one. And, oh geez, yeah. And as IT, it's the same thing I've been saying in the last few commentaries, is that they expect us to perform miracles, but they don't give us the supplies to do it. It's like some Ten Commandments status shit right there. I mean, it's like, here, you need to make bricks, but here's no straw, but here's the mud. I'm like, I can't pull things out of thin air. This is not the way I roll here, and there's no reason for me to do it that way. Now, you say that this is my mandatory lunch break, and yeah, I'm supposed to probably be eating, but I have my tricks behind that, and I usually eat whatever scraps are left. So I just take it back into my office. If they're asking, and I will have to admit, when it comes to breaks and stuff, I have been asked while I'm eating if I'm on a break. Not shitting you. Because I'm not allowed to have a bag of chips next to me while I'm trying to frickin' fix your Mac or something like that. It's like, come on. Granted, yeah, it goes no bounds. There's some just ridiculous crap going on. So, yeah. And the other thing too is, with it being that I have to take my lunch between noon and noon 30, just to put in perspective, lunch, because I take the school lunches, the sixth grade lunch doesn't begin until 12:23, and the eighth grade lunch doesn't begin until 12:58. So really, I kind of toward the tail end, I just kind of steal food, And yes, micromanaging is hardcore right now. It is over 9,000. I don't know what the hell's going on, considering that I just had to write an email having to explain why I started my break 8 minutes late. I mean, I understand that I'm supposed to do things because of California law, but there is no stipulation anywhere that says that an administrator or a supervisor is supposed to force you to go on a break. Unless I'm in a situation where there are multiple people in my department and one has to relieve the other, there is no reason for me to do that. I am the IT department. There is no one else who can cover me except to be sent from central office. And even in that case, central office people come down here, they see what's going on, and they're like, Christine has it under control. I don't know what the hell your problem is. The thing too is, I know that we're supposed to be but I understand we're supposed to be adults, but there are some people who think we're not. Unfortunately, some of those people are in charge of me. And it's really petty, because I'm pretty sure that I'm not, I'm the only one who gets poked like this. It's like, yeah, you didn't take your break. It's like, okay, here's the deal. How did you know that my break was delayed? Because you look at your watch and you realize, okay, it's past 9:40. My thing is, it's all about tact. It's all about being professional, about asking. So here's my next thing. If you're in a situation where you're wondering what's going on, have you ever thought of asking a question? If we corrected the situation and my operations manager came in, knocked on the door and said, hey, are you on your break? And I answered yes. The next course of action would have been, oh, how much longer do you have on your break? That would have been pretty frickin' obvious, right? Or second alternative, hey, just wondering, when did you start your break? And then I would have said 9:38. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And he looks at watch and goes, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have 2 minutes left. Let me bother you later. But when has it that I have to? Why is it mandatory? I mean, is the school going to blow up if I don't take it at 9:30? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not. And here's the thing: you're making me take a lunch break. I mean, a 10-minute mandatory break during a time when classes are in session and something could blow up. I have to be given the latitude to be able to do my shit. Like, I need the latitude to be able to perform my job. I should not have to question or fear whether or not I'm going to take a break or not. And just to let you know, my next break is at 2 p.m. There's a high chance I'm probably just going to work through it because I don't care. But at the same time, I'm probably going to observe my break because somebody might care. I don't perform magic. I'm not a magician. I just happen to work with equipment that not a lot of people have an expertise in. And that is okay because we as people in a school have expertise in something else. For example, for me, I am not a reading specialist. I was originally credentialed as an English teacher, but I gravitated toward technology, and my strength is in technology. If I was asked to teach English right now, would I be able to do it? Yeah. Is it something that I'm strong at? I wouldn't say that I'm the strongest at it. I know that I can do it well because I know myself, but is it something that I love to do? Not passionately, but I can do it. It's really like, allow us adults who work in the school to make the judgment calls that we need to make. That's really the biggest thing of this whole mess, is that you just can't be like, oh, you have to take your break at 9:30 and that's it. I'm like, no. Okay? I'm not going to be like, hands-on with a student, working, like showing them how to do something, and then my really annoying, alarm goes off and says, oh, sorry, I'm going to have to drop this off because if I don't, my operations manager is probably going to have an issue with me. It doesn't make sense. It's almost like tyrant. It's almost like passive-aggressive tyrant level right there at that point. There's a part of me that's like, okay, because I'm looking at this list right now, and I just realized with this list is that my operations manager is not on this list at all. Oh, because there'll be some times maybe I should call her and go, hey, it's 9:50. You need to get off of that Excel spreadsheet. I can't believe that you're running through your break. What if somebody needs you or something? I mean, are you effing kidding me? And so, Jolene, just to answer your question, I'm in charter school. We're not protected by union. My hourly position is at will, and teachers are not protected by contract. They actually only sign an agreement to work in the charter school. So, I mean, it's a whole can of worms. We're not protected by union at all. And there are points in time that I wish I were. So, yeah, this is just stuff that is just going to continue and be completely asinine, and there's nothing I can do about it. I still work within parameters. I'm burning my lunch right now. Currently, it is 12:30 and 56 seconds. I have about a minute left in my broadcast. But, as usual, I'm very grateful to the people who watch and listen because I'll tell you, this is stuff that I just can't make up. This just comes out like water. Someone might as well just hand me a script and go, here you go. This is the shit you're going to talk about today. But no, it's just me and my, 1 minute prep, writing my notes and then going through and going, yeah, this actually happened today and it's only Thursday. I seriously can't wait till Labor Day weekend because I want to spend that time cleaning up my personal space and making sure my rats are healthy and cleaning my fish and installing new stuff on my motorcycle. And then seeing if Eleanor is ready to be picked up after her maintenance job over at Pacific Yamaha. Those are the things that I want to think about right now. What I don't want to think about is whether or not, you know, I'm going to get peddled on for late breaks. Oh, no, Shirley, I thought you were going to say you can't wait for someone. I can't wait till I get another job at this point. Seriously. Like I said, Fullerton interview, Tuesday, 9:15 a.m. All I need as many positive vibes as possible because, you know what, I'd like to return to the back of the of the orange curtain. So anyway, with that being said, yes, I can't wait till summer break either. You know what? Actually, let me just close with this. I can't wait till I have a summer break again, because this last summer was not a break at all and was probably one of the worst summers I have had probably since my divorce. So you know what? This needs to stop. Anyway, I'm gonna clock back in now, because if I clock back in at 12:33, maybe I might get shot. So yeah, this is the desktop confessional for Thursday. Peace, and don't get hurt out there. Okay, bye.